Welcome to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds of sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here, and I want to welcome you to live stream number 227. Today is February 16th, 2026. Thanks for being here, and we have got a full house here tonight. So this is going to be a fun live stream. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, we talk about tractors and attachments, DIY projects around the property, basically life in the country, and that's what we talk about each week. And then on the live streams, we kind of talk about what's going on there. If it is your first time here joining a live stream, please say hi in the live chat because this is a highly interactive live stream. So in the live chat, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, either one, you can make a comment in that live chat. So make sure you say hi so we can welcome you. Let me know how you found the channel. Was it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok? And that goes for our guests as well, if you say hi to them as well. I do this pretty much every Monday night. Wasn't here last week, but every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, just for 1 hour. We might run over tonight, just a warning, because we got a lot of voices here to talk. Because what we're going to be doing, we're talking about the 2026 National Farm Machinery Show that I just returned from. Just got home last night, as a matter of fact. And the National Farm Machinery Show is held at the Kentucky Exposition Center in Louisville. It is a 27-acre, 1.2 million square foot facility, and it's amazing. And I only saw a portion of it. I missed so much. So hopefully the folks joining me tonight can tell me somewhat of what I missed. Speaking of that live chat, if you have a question tonight for anybody here, in the live chat, post your question with the word question followed by the question. That helps it stand out because there's a lot of comments flying around, so questions can be seen a little bit easier that way. And then before we wrap up tonight, weekly I do a sticker giveaway, so we'll be doing a little live drawing for some stickers, and maybe our guests might contribute to that as well. And before we bring everybody on, if you would just reach down and click that thumbs up button, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I would very much appreciate it. So, here we go. Let's bring on our guests. I'll tell you who we have tonight. We've got Chris from 2911 Homestead. We've got Tony from Tony's Tractor Adventure. Neil from Dig Drive DIY. Tim from TTWT, Tractor Time with Tim. Josh, the Stony Ridge Farmer. And Wade from Sabine River Valley. And we could have a surprise guest pop on. Even more than that. We'll see. I invited a bunch of people, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's... I'm going to bring all these guys on kind of, well, one at a time, but in a quick row. So say hi to Chris, and say hi to Tony, and Neil, and Tim, and Josh, and Wade.
Say hi to Chris.
There we go.
And say hi to Tony.
Somebody's got some feedback.
And Neil, and Tim, and Josh, and Wade.
So I think it stopped. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Who is going to sing? Who's going to sing the Brady Bunch theme?
I
Dun, 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 dun.
was not
Neil's
Neil's the one that used Alice, so.
I just had a Brady Bunch theme in my latest
There you
video.
go. Tim's the Alice in this one. All right. Wade. I could hear that. So we have no feed. Can you guys all hear me?
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, we were all on just a minute ago, and we tested everything, and it was working fine. So we're in good shape. So first of all, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. It really means a lot to me. These are all folks that I got to hang out with the last few days, last week, and what a pleasure it was to spend time with you face-to-face, in person. You guys are the real deal, and for those who watch the channels, just know that if you haven't met anyone here, what you see is what you get, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys. Seriously. I'm being serious now. All right, so we all just got back from the National Farm Machinery Show, the 60th show, apparently. I looked at their website. They're already promoting the 61st show. for 2027. So it's rolling right along. It's a great show. It was, I think, only my second time there. I'd gone to the Equip Expo, which is at the same location, and then this show last year, and then again this year. So it's a lot to see, and a lot of fun. We just lost Josh, but I bet you he'll be back. So let's go in order and introduce the folks here tonight. We've got Chris from 2911 Homestead. Chris, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How is everybody?
We're all doing well. Tell us in 30 seconds or less about your homestead channel.
Yeah, so we raise rabbits and chickens. I have 2 tractors, TYM 2515 to LS 352, and we divide our time between our land, 5 acres in North Georgia, and we have 23 acres in East Tennessee that we're developing to be our forever home.
And this is pretty new for you, right? You're
Yes.
sort of ground up here going from this.
So my new channel has been around a couple years, but yeah, we all new stuff to us. Never been a tractor owner, but grew up around them in the country. So my grandpa always had tractors and stuff. But yep,
It's going to be fun to follow your journey, that's for sure.
thank you.
So Tony has been around a little bit longer, man. What's going on with your channel? You always have all these different projects between the cabin build, and of course Tony's the he's the TYM guru. We have a couple of those here on tonight though, but what's happening in your world, Tony?
Well, just trying to get at least one project finished. Seems like we're always starting a new one before the last one got complete, or we go to a show, or we have a horrendous ice storm, stuff like that. But no, right now we're just trying to get the sawmill up and running again. We've actually, it is up and running, so we got a lot of stuff that's going to be sawmill oriented here in the near future. A lot of builds.
Nice. And you did a lot with the sawmill a while ago,
right?
And you built some great things with that. So we're going to see that start to kind of reappear on the channel.
Yeah, we got quite a few outbuildings that we're going to build for the homestead, and I'm looking forward to that.
That's exciting. Wade from Texas, the Sabine River Valley.
What's going on?
What's happening with you, and what kind of things are you doing? Or maybe you can introduce your channel a little bit to the good folks here.
I am new to farming and just making a bunch of mistakes on camera and trying to act like I know what I'm doing, but don't really know what I'm doing. So, but it must be working because I had Tony running the camera for me. He's become my cameraman.
Nice.
Right.
At these events. So
I finally found something I'm good at.
Nice. So he's not a farmer, but he plays one on YouTube.
That's right.
Right.
Nice. Excellent. We're glad to have you. Wade's the other TYM guru. So if you want to know any technical specifications, Wade's pretty techie. He knows all those numbers and everything. So thanks for being here, Wade. Appreciate it. Tim from Mega Shop Time with Tim. You've still heavily involved, obviously, with tractors, but gosh, that project you've been working on is incredible.
Yeah,
So-
overwhelming at times, and I suspect some of our viewers are tired of seeing it, but it's what we're doing, and that's kind of, I think a lot of us are kind of the same way. We show on our channels what we're doing and what we're consumed with, so yeah, some people may be tired of it, but well,
I don't know about that. It's been really fascinating to see the choices you've made and what you've done with that. And I mean, just from the channel, it looks overwhelming, the size of it. It kind of shadows your home there, it looks like. So it was a big, literally a big decision, I guess, to build that.
yeah, and how big do you build them? Everybody says keep making them bigger and bigger.
Right,
Well,
never big enough.
we ran out of budget and we ran out of physical space on the property, so I guess that's about as big as we're going to get.
There you go. You made it as big as you can.
Yeah, and we just decided that it would be fun to try to make it as kind of fancy and unique as we could. Obviously, on YouTube, we get some help with some sponsorships and stuff that some others wouldn't, but it kind of gives us an opportunity to try something, a little unique and a little nicer than what we would otherwise be able to afford, and it gives some other people some ideas. That's kind of the plan here.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. Well, we'll circle back to you because I imagine there'll be some questions about that the new John Deere that you've been talking about. So we'll bring that up when we get back around to it. But I want to welcome Neil from Dig Drive DIY. Neil, the master storyteller, as I call him. Every one of his videos is, to me, like a network documentary. I think you make the extremely watchable content, Neil, and you've deserved every bit of growth that you've seen over the past couple of years.
Well, I appreciate it, Ed. Thank you for having me here. So yeah, my name is Neil Koch. My channel is Dig Drive DIY, and it's pretty much about what the name suggests. We do a lot of digging, driving, DIY projects. So I've got an little Bobcat, skid loader, got a backhoe, got a couple dump trucks, and I do small grading projects, small excavating projects, dug a pond in my backyard and videoed that. And we do a lot of driving of stuff. Right now I'm restoring a 1979 Ford Bronco. Got that in Vermont, working with a guy there that's helping me do it. And then just all kinds of homestead DIY stuff, from remodeling the kitchen to hopefully building a barn ourselves this summer. So taking
Nice.
one of Tim's cues there to do that. So
Nice. To a flooded basement as well. I remember that from the early days.
Yeah, let's hope those days are behind us. So.
Right. Well, thanks for being here, Neil. We really appreciate it. And Josh, the Stony Ridge farmer, good to see you this evening. Thanks for joining us as well. Josh, you've always got so much going on there, and I love your morning live streams. I'm always amazed, Josh, that you can live stream from the farm. Like, do you have like Wi-Fi satellite or something? Because I'm like, how is he live streaming out in the middle of the field like that? It's amazing, and it looks great.
Yeah, it's just my cell phone. I got pretty good service. Thank you, Verizon. So, yeah,
it works really well. So, what's the latest and greatest going on there at the Stony Ridge?
I just got in from feeding the cows and fixing dinner, and man, it's just really just got back from the farm show. Left the farm show and then went to Atlanta for a little surprise thing from Honda, and just rocking and rolling, man. Do love all your guys' channel. Neil, man, I've never talked to you before, but love your channel, man. I watch your videos. So right, and I'm jealous of him because he's actually getting his work done in his shop, and I'm not. So yeah, that's awesome.
You got to always respect the ones who get things done, right?
Yeah. He's doing this. Money. I'm like, oh, stick it back in my pockets, man.
For sure.
Yeah, but it takes a lot.
Yeah. So we're glad to have you here, and I think we're all, probably safe to say, we're all a little bit cross-eyed from that trip to the Farm Machinery Show. Just showing up, spending a few days there. Again, 1.2 million square feet. And they're adding on to it. I don't know what they're doing there. That's like, how much more space do you need? But it's overwhelming. It's so much to see. I shared on Facebook that I drove home. I left the Farm Machinery Show and went to visit family in Tennessee, which was a 4-hour drive from the Farm Machinery Show, which was a nice, that's doable, 4 hours. And then from there, it was 14 hours home. So I spent a couple days there. And then yesterday, drove home straight through 14 hours. It was raining when I left. It was raining when I got home. So for 14 hours, I never turned off my windshield wipers once. They were running the whole time, and that makes for a really grueling trip. So I may need you guys to do all the talking tonight, because I'm it's not jet lag, truck lag, I guess.
You washed all the salt out from under your truck, so that's the main thing.
Well, the way down, there was so much snow still on the highways from here in New Jersey all the way to Kentucky. I was surprised that there was still so much snow, and it was melting, so it was salt water the whole way. So I went through a whole gallon of windshield wiper fluid. I washed the truck before I came. It was plastered with salt by the time I got there. And you're right, I pretty much washed it off on the way home, so that was the bonus. So I do have a clean windshield from running those windshield wipers for 14 hours. But anyway, so Farm Machinery Show, who wants to talk about one thing that you saw that maybe surprised you, or that you found interesting, that you either weren't expecting to see, or something that was new to you for the show this year? Just raise your hand when you have something to share. Something new, something exciting, something different that you didn't really, that kind of surprised you. I should have
saw
given you answers ahead of time. Go ahead, Josh.
TYM's got implements now, so that was neat to see.
So that's is that relatively new? I'll ask Tony, the TYM guy. Tell us about the implements.
No, they've been around for about 3 years now. They're starting to be shown at the shows quite a bit now. In the past, I think last year they showed a few of them, but this year they had something just about on every piece of equipment there.
Yeah, that was nice. Who's making those for those guys?
Ironcraft. They're in partnership with Ironcraft.
Gotcha. Cool.
So you know they're good then.
Yeah, they're good. They're good stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Neil, you had something you want to share that you saw.
Oh, I just thought it was cool this year that there were so many throwback tractors. Like they had a lot of older tractors out on the display floor. There was an older Case. There was a couple Harvesters. There was a Massey Ferguson, and there was even a modern Case Magnum painted up in the Centennial colors, the red, white, and blue. So I thought that was really cool that they were leaning into some of the old iron, and I really see that more prevalent now that all these companies are kind of doing some throwbacks or some heritage versions,
That's true.
Maybe we'll sell my tractors and get old tractors. Like there was that red, white, and blue International that was in there, man. That big, I don't know what it was, what the numbers are. Man, that thing was sharp.
It makes me happy that I have a Ford 3000 tractor from 1972 that starts up every time I try.
So, Chris, you've got 3 tractors in. You were saying you
do
had the
have 3
TYM and the LS, but
I have a Ford tractor too. Ford 3000.
you got to give some credit to the old guy too, as well, right?
Yeah,
not just the newer ones.
No, it's an awesome tractor. I love that tractor.
That's fun. Yeah, I even saw was it a '69 Mustang in there?
Yep.
Yeah, that thing was
I'm not
sharp.
sure. I'm not sure.
One of the auction houses had one of their cars there. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know what it was from, but I just saw it. What'd you see, Tim?
I was intrigued by the McCormick tracked tractor, the 120 horsepower. I think it's probably intended for vineyards, but I just thought it was an enormous amount of power packed in a very small space.
I didn't even think McCormick was still making tractors, so that was a surprise to me. Actually,
It's an Italian tractor.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I just. We're going to have a short on it sometime this week. We just put together some. I mean, I don't know much about it, but we looked under the hood and there wasn't 10 square inches of room that you could have done anything under there. It was absolutely jam packed. So a lot of power in a small space.
Nice. I'll tell you what I was pleasantly surprised to see. The farm machinery show. There's a lot of big ag there. I mean, a lot of things that I don't know if any of us could even use a lot of that equipment. I mean, Josh, you've got a big farm, but you're not harvesting, planting. No. So a lot of that is for big farmers. And I was pleasantly surprised that they're showing some of the compact and even subcompact equipment. And if you look at the National Farm Machinery Show website, they even address that in the About section. They recognize that the big equipment is doing well, but there is a need to showcase some of the smaller equipment for smaller farms. Even some of the bigger farms need some smaller equipment. So I was happy to see a selection there of things that actually apply to me and to a lot of the viewers on my channel and a lot of the viewers on your channels as well. So I was happy to see Bad Boy out there with their compacts, and I don't think they do subcompacts, but compacts and of course, TYM's always there with the full lineup, but Kubota had a nice selection this year as well, and of course John Deere and everything from the smallest to the biggest. So it was good to see that.
Even New Holland had, you showcased the new Workmaster.
New Holland is releasing the new Workmaster 35C and 40C, and LS also had a new model, which I think is actually the same model from what I understand, or the same tractor.
Like it is.
Yeah, so I think it's built by LS, but it's a total redesign for them. You heard the salesman talk about talking about that. Just that, not that it's a big deal, but they changed the color of the wheels from white to silver, and they're going with a whole different look across the board there. But anyway, I was happy to see things that would apply to smaller homesteads there.
I think there's been starting back when Tim was, he started his channel. That I think that was a big turn in the whole national interest. A lot of people, big farming is so much corporate now that there's not as many, small time home farms anymore, but there are millions of people who are buying, that 15, 20 acres of land, and they need a piece of equipment. And myself personally, I remember watching Tim's videos way back in the day, and because we were doing the exact same thing or wanting to do the same thing.
Tim started the revolution.
Yeah, I'm the old guy.
Definitely one of the first ones, but I'm not saying that. I think there's the people were already there, there, but
right.
you gave them an outlet, and gave them they didn't know they needed it till they seen it on Tim's channel.
Didn't know it would do it either. I mean, when we started, every other comment was, that's nothing but a lawnmower. It won't do anything. And we just kept proving them wrong week after week after week. And
I don't get that on my channel hardly near as much as I used to when we first started.
Yep.
Yeah, and the fact is, like you said, Tony, there are thousands and thousands of people who are interested in that quote unquote lawnmower. Call it what you want, but that's what people are buying, and that's what people need to learn about and
I was
learn
looking
how
at
to
the
use.
stats the other day, and it was like, under the 40 horsepower and below tractor, it's like 80%, maybe more. I don't remember the exact number, but it was really high percentage that were first-time tractor owners. They've never touched or owned a tractor in their life, and they had their career, and now they want to do a homestead.
Yeah, there's also a big shift.
Right?
Go ahead,
I didn't
Chris.
hear you, Josh.
Yeah, there's also a big shift of people moving to the country.
Oh yes,
and wanting
absolutely.
to get out. So like that's happened. I mean,
I see two.
2020.
I see two distinct groups. You have the retirees, and then now, because there's so many people that are able to work from home via Starlink, that they're not living in the cities. They're moving out because the cost of living in the country is so much cheaper, and they can just work from home, and they are doing that small time. I get a lot of people that are in that 30, 40 year, old age, and they're doing homesteading via working off of a computer.
I'm
Because you
one
can.
of those people.
There you go.
Same here.
You've got that. That's true. And that, again, Chris mentioned since 2020, since COVID, the world did change. We learned that working remotely was possible. We had to do it starting then, and then a lot of companies didn't move away from that.
Sure.
I worked for a company where I started working remotely, and I was able to continue to do that because, face it, we're at a point where our office is in our hand now, for the most part. You might have this, and you might have a laptop. Two things that, with whether you drive 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an office, or if you open it up at your kitchen table or office table, it's all there. It's all the same thing. So other than, if you have to interact with staff, that's one thing. But for the most part, if you have a job that you're doing, you can do it remotely, and that saves people commuting time. So that allows them to do some of this homesteading and hobby farming that they're doing. So it's I don't know if it's slowing down at all, but it's still a pretty big movement.
I wonder how much Starlink has, influenced that movement, because it opened up so many markets or so many different areas for people to move to.
I would say absolutely, because there are so many rural areas, even here in New Jersey, the most densely populated state in the country. We happen to live in probably the most least populated area of the state, but still, there are very rural areas here, even in New Jersey. And that doesn't compare to states across the country. So having Starlink, and I don't know there's anything else really that competes with that, But to open up that opportunity to have high-speed internet virtually anywhere has had to make a major impact. In fact, I know that when Ann and I bought this farm, we daydreamed for years and looking at different places. And I taught Ann to look for the cable TV cable. It has a very distinct look up on the pole. It's like a 3/4 inch cable, and at each pole it dips down in a U shape, and that's the cable line. So we would drive around, and even Ann would say, "Oh, that place there's no cable on this road. I don't see that cable." So we were even then picky about saying, "I don't think I'd want to buy that place because it doesn't have cable, and I need internet." And now that was just a few years ago. We wouldn't have that concern anymore because of Starlink and that ability. So that's a great point, Tony. I think it's opened up a lot of opportunities.
I think it's helped out the Middle East a little bit too.
Think so? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So, well, you demonstrated that years ago on your farm, right, Josh? With the Starlink, you had the little satellite set up on your front lawn, as I recall. Just
Yeah, it's still sitting there, man.
Is that right?
Yeah, I have access to faster internet now, Spectrum, but I still use Starlink. So it's it's still there. It's great.
So quick little poll: who on this panel depends on Starlink for internet?
Right here.
Look at that. So almost half of us.
I don't have to. I choose to.
Okay. I almost went with it. Yeah, I looked at it because the numbers showed that it was actually faster than the cable we have here. But when I read into it, it said basically the comments were you're better off to go a hard line if you can. It's just going to be more reliable. So ours is fast enough. No complaints here. Look, I'm live streaming in 1080p with all these folks, so it's working out all right. So
we have cable here that is extremely slow, and my neighbors have it, and they'll call us whenever we're having a big storm to see if our internet's working, because ours will, and their cable will go out. So they got the hard line, but theirs is constantly going out, and our Starlink is just up and going.
Yeah.
We got
That's
into
good
this
stuff.
tech sector, and it makes me think about the farm show there, where I was noticing a lot of the tractors now are Bosch 3-point hit systems, integrated phones that it hooks up to Wi-Fi. You can start your tractor from the inside of the house and let it warm up before you go out, or let it cool off. That's tech is affecting all areas of homesteading now.
Yeah, it's there for sure. So
Probably a good segue. There was a question from Woodster 300 about the Kubota L series, the new Grand L series.
yeah, and Tim, I think you can talk about that, right? You took a good look at that.
I did. Others might too. I don't want to. I mean, anybody else have any feedback on the Grand L 70 series?
That was the fancy new one, right? The one with all the Wi-Fi and the pretty screen, and you could start it remotely and all that. Yeah, and the big glass, all the big glass. Yeah. I did walk around that.
Cameras front and back, and the radio, of course, is built into the dash, so you don't have a separate standalone radio. It really was impressive to me. I think it's by far the most advanced compact tractor on the market. Just miles ahead of, technology-wise, miles ahead of anything else. Now, I mean, Woodster's question may be about, do we want that in a tractor? That's a separate question. I'm just gonna just say from an analysis standpoint, I was impressed. Somebody's here is asking what the sticker price was. The L6070 with a loader in the premium configuration, as it sat on the floor, it had every option I think known to man, was $68,000 retail MSRP. They have a deluxe version, which is not very deluxe. It's poorly named. I mean, it's got the cab, but it's a primitive cab. When I say primitive, it's probably like most other tractors instead of like that series. And I believe it was the 44 horsepower version was 55,000, I believe.
Right. Well, it only makes sense to start to see that working its way into these tractors. I mean, it's in you look at what our vehicles have, our cars, it only makes sense. But tell me
I
this,
think
Tim. Tell me,
Go ahead.
Tim. Did it have a clock?
I don't know. The Coyote does.
All right.
The Coyote does.
That's
I
my
thought of
rant.
you.
I want a clock.
In our next video, I'm going to point out that the Coyote CK4040 has a clock.
All right. Please do that.
You're
Say,
gonna
here,
be-
Ed. Here's your clock. He's a simple man. He just wants a clock.
I get it though. I mean, when you commented like that, it makes sense to me because you have to fish out your phone, and
Yep.
if there's any place that time goes fast, it's while you're on the tractor, and hours can pass while I think 30 minutes have passed.
That's right. That's right. But you're right. I'm always digging for the phone, and such a simple request. So,
Watch, man.
well, yeah, but I haven't worn a watch for, I don't know, 30 years. So,
I'm gonna give you a clock on the tractor story.
okay.
When I first got the farm and I first got all the tractors and machines, I went and bought those little peel and stick clock to go in every tractor, like stick it in there somewhere, So I had a clock, kind of like yourself, and I was like fighting them, and they'd fall off, and they'd get wet, and they get ruined. I was like, you know what, you idiot? Why don't you just buy a watch? And I started wearing a watch from that point forward. I'm not wearing it right now, but I started wearing a watch. Problem solved.
Everything technically has a clock. Wherever you go, there's a clock now, right? So
Yeah.
I did try an Apple Watch for a while. My brother had given me his after he got a new one, and it just didn't work out for me. It wasn't my thing. But
Worry you to death, right?
it's smart though to wear a watch. That's a funny thing for sure. So hey, a little shout out since Tim was just talking a moment ago, but Chris, our friend Chris in the Watershed Overlook, nice compliment for Tim, who made Chris realize that a compact tractor was an attainable thing, and you don't need a 100-acre farm. So even small property owners can have a tractor, and that's true. I mean, look at our friend John Ritter, who has the BX. You watch John's channel. He lives on a small property, but he's out snow plowing for the neighbors, snow blowing. He did some backhoe work with it. So anybody can have a tractor these days. So
Everybody needs a yard tractor.
right?
Sure.
Speaking of John, you were missed. John wasn't able to come to the show this year, so he's one we like to see when we can. So let's see. You guys see any questions?
One just popped up.
Tell me about it, Tony.
I hadn't read it yet. I just said question.
Oh, okay.
You said it.
I meant, did you have one that you wanted to pull out? I got you.
At the NFMS, at the National Farm Machinery Show, is it just a place to see what's new, or a place where you can actually make a deal there on a new product?
Some of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But my goodness, there's a lot to see. If you've never been to that show, I don't believe it's possible to see the entire show if you go 2-3 days. You can walk through it, but you'll have to stop at every booth and understand every booth. I don't think it's possible to see it in 4 days.
I had one of the old timers from Massey Ferguson tell me that the days in the past, these old farmer guys used to walk in here with their checkbook at the farm show, and they'd be buying stuff off the floor at the farm show. But he said those days have long since passed. But back in the day, that's what they used to do. They'd ride up in there, cut a check for a combine right there on the spot.
Well, you do see the show price, right, when you're there?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of a deal that is, but they do have show prices.
You can wheel and deal over in the West Wing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of places,
go ahead.
a lot of places, like a trailer place or something, they don't want to take them home.
That's
So-
right.
Right.
So yeah, you can. I don't know how much of a deal you get, but you can buy the one right there on the floor.
I mean,
I
like
know
the TWAM tractors, they are already sold before they get there, because as soon as the show's over, they're leaving there and going to their prospective dealers.
So I go to the Sunbelt Ag Expo every year in Georgia, in South Georgia, and this year TYM actually brought the local dealer in, and they sold all the tractors before they left. So all the TYM tractors were sold. I don't think John Deere cared about, but there was at the Sunbelt Ag Expo, each tractor company has at least one dealership represented within their spot.
Well, like Tim said, a lot of these folks don't want to bring the stuff home. I saw that with
Nope.
the Equip Expo. You know, you stay at the end of the show, they're offering half off, not on tractors, but on different pieces of equipment. If they don't have to haul it out of there, you can get a pretty good deal.
I was going to say there's such a variety of stuff, though. It's not just big equipment. There are so many
Right.
vendors and it's tucked away in the corners and the far reaches of that place that there's a lot of deals to be had. But especially on the smaller stuff or the attachments and things of that nature, there's a ton of those guys that would rather not haul it home. So I talked to the guys at the Crown Royal stove booth, and they were hauling show stoves with them because they were nearly sold out of product. And so they were taking orders at the show, but they didn't have any product to really sell off the floor. So it just varies on what you're looking for.
Neil, did you make your way around pretty well? Did you see the
Not really. No,
I didn't. You were only there one day, right?
I was only there one day, and I didn't even see half of it. I bet
you're gonna have to set aside a couple of days, Neil. Come on.
I know. There's so much more, but yeah, it gets a little overwhelming at times just because there is so much. And if you set out to try to see it all, you're going to have your steps in.
You bet you are.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan too. You got to kind of work a plan and have a direction. So there's not much time for socializing if you're going to try to see the whole thing. And
that's the problem.
Socializing.
Our friend Evan from Country View Acres, he wasn't able to join us tonight, but I know he spent the entire first day. I teased him like he didn't leave this 6 square foot area. Like he stayed there just talking to people the entire first day. And you can do that if you're not careful. You just get sucked into conversations, which are great. I mean, I love it. That was honestly my favorite part of the show.
Absolutely.
Was talking to people, talking to all of you guys, talking to viewers, talking to vendors. It's really a great time to just talk to people with similar interests.
Question: do you set up a map or a map of all you want to see, or do you just walk around? That's Manisto Key.
Manisto Key.
Manisto Key. Is that how it's said?
Manisto Key.
So it was my first year.
Oh, sorry.
It was my first year going. So I didn't know what to expect. I had really no expectations. I had just seen what y'all have had posted in previous years. So I did take Wade's advice. With Thursday morning, I started in the West Wing because I knew if I didn't, I probably would have never got over there. And I did do a lap around that to see what was in there. And that was a lot of smaller vendors and stuff. But I felt like I saw pretty much everything, at least glanced at everything. I may not have stopped and looked at all kinds of stuff, but I just kind of walked around a few times.
I recommend coming to the first show with no expectations. Just go through and just start at one end, go out the other, and then next year make a plan. Because I don't think anybody can cold turkey that show and have an adequate plan. It's just once you get there, you're just overwhelmed at how big it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe if you have something specific that you're looking for, make sure you focus on that. Or if there are specific vendors that you want to see, even if you don't have the map, like there are at least 2 vendors that I meant to talk to, and I didn't do it, and I felt bad when I went away because I never got over there to talk to them. So I think it would be good to have a list so you could at least kind of have a checklist, like, oh, I didn't see so and so yet. Let me be very intentional to make that happen because the time goes by quickly, and there's just so much to see, and which means there's so much to miss.
There was a vendor that I've worked with that I kept looking for and couldn't find them. And the West Wing, I don't know if y'all have ever been over there, but the West Wing has a little section off to the side of it that's like the West Wing, and you don't even know it's over there. And so you got to go down this little hallway to get into it. And so I found them back in there, but it was funny because I think it was Machio was stuck back there in that little, the smallest section in the whole
the whole building. So, but anyway, there's
That's
so many. There's surprised in the West Wing on how much big ag was in the West Wing. I was like, this building's tiny. So like the big equipment that was in the West Wing surprised me.
Yeah, the West Wing has like a lower ceiling, and it's maybe not as bright inside, so it has kind of a different feel to it. But there's still a lot in there. And then I found out when I got home, because I didn't look at the brochure until I got home. I should have looked at it while I was there. But apparently on the second floor, there's like a craft fender section. Did anybody make their way up there?
I haven't
I've been
had.
up there before.
Saw people walking down the stairs. I was like, it must be a bathroom up there, huh?
Well, listen, you can go up there and buy a massage table, massage chair, water bed, any kind of craft you can think of, homemade wine and jelly, and you name it, it's there.
It's hugely busy too. You can hardly walk through it.
That's cool.
And they said that they're tearing that West Wing down. This was the last year for it. They said.
Is that right? Okay.
They were waiting on people to clear out of there, and it was coming down, rebuilding it.
Well, you saw
Is that what the
back
is that
of
what the new construction was for?
It looks, yeah. That's what it looks like.
So.
Yeah, the Crown Royal vendor I was talking to said they've been in there 25 years in the same spot in the West Wing, and they were kind of disappointed because next year it was going to be all different.
It'll be different. How about that? Woodster has another question about Neil Messick had talked about a top secret tractor. You think that's what you were talking about, Tim? The one we talked about a little while ago?
I don't think. I mean, no. The Grand L 70 series was announced in October, November at their dealer show. So I don't know how recent was this video, Woodster.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, we'll see if he responds with that, and then Phil from Peterson Farm, Little Nashville. It's good to see Phil very briefly. Asking if we saw anything non-tractor related that was intriguing or useful on a small property. There are a lot of vendors who produce smaller pieces of equipment, attachments, things like that.
I liked the Ironcraft stump grinder with the chainsaw holder on it. Even though that's tiny and small, I was like, oh, another place to put a chainsaw. I like that.
Nice. How big was the stump grinder?
I don't remember how big that one was.
It looked like a 24-inch to me.
Yeah, it was 24. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Boys, I hate to say it, but I've been beckoned for supper.
Well, congratulations.
Yep, I'm going to let you fellas go, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for inviting me in. And
Good to see you, Josh.
That are
Good to see you,
watching,
Josh.
thank you so much. Enjoyed it. I'll tell you the thing that I was most impressed about the show real quick before I go. The number of FFA students, young people that were there, was super cool to see that many young people there that were interested in agriculture. That was the coolest part, I thought, of the whole show.
That's a great point. I saw, I guess it was the second day, maybe it was Thursday when I walked up. There were buses of kids there offloading. Yeah. And I thought the same thing. I thought, this is fantastic to see all these young people here. And, maybe for a lot of them it was a field trip, a day off school, but still they were definitely interested. And again, FFA is a great organization.
The future is hopefully bright. The future is hopefully bright.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Josh. We'll be tuning in to the Stony Ridge Farmer.
See you.
Enjoy dinner.
All right.
We're symmetrical.
Yes. Is that the word, symmetrical?
Symmetrical.
For sure.
On the FFA thing, I don't know if people realize how much job availability there is in the ag space. Like, it's not just farmers. Farmers are the smallest component of agriculture anymore. There's so much support. I mean, I've spent the last 20 years working in the ag industry, and I am not a farmer. I'm just farmer adjacent. So I think that's what a lot of that show serves, because you think of it for farmers, but that's like the smallest. I think that's the smallest percentage of the people there, to be honest. It's just a huge group of agricultural support. And
yeah,
that's a great point.
They have a component, FFA, so they have this whole educational documentation on their website of diesel mechanics working on tractors, working on equipment, building greenhouses and how to build them right and how to do irrigation. So yeah, you're right, Neil. It's like it's everything. It's not just the farming portion of it.
No.
Yeah, and I have to say, speaking of the FFA, I don't want to slam my high school, but I feel like I missed a lot of opportunities. I was not a member of the FFA. I know that I would have liked to have been, but it wasn't communicated very well. You know, in my mind, it's like, oh, I'm not a farmer. I can't join the FFA. But I could have, just like you're saying, Neil. There were opportunities I could have learned about. But in my mind, the school didn't really put that in front of kids to know what it is. They just kind of counted on kids knowing what they wanted. And when you're 14, 15 years old, you don't know what you want. So and also I was reclusive and shy, and you don't want to ask questions because you don't want to be made fun of or feel stupid. So you have to put it out there and make kids feel welcome, because you don't know which kid is out there just hoping that somebody will ask. And I always say I don't have any regrets in life, but I wish somebody had asked me more, or had kind of shown that to me, that and other things.
We didn't have FFA. We had 4-H. I don't know if any of y'all are 4-H.
We have that
schools or
too.
not.
Not through the school system, I don't think, but there's certainly a 4-H club.
We had both FFA and 4-H. I was in FFA, president of our chapter, and it taught me a lot. I'm very grateful for it. I think that I think FFA in general had taken a back seat for, throughout most of the early 2020s. It was popular when I was in school in the 90s, and then I think it kind of faded away as they made a big, huge push towards college education.
Right.
Like that had to be the path. And now I think we're starting to see a resurgence of, blue collar emphasis and programs like FFA and 4-H and things of that nature to push kids towards the trades and towards, just jobs that are needed in our communities that have kind of been left behind. So I was grateful to see the FFA kids there as well. I go to a lot of different farm related things. Every year we have a farm economics forum that I attend in a local town, and there was the most FFA students I've ever seen at it this year out of the last dozen years or so that I've been going. So attendance is up and interest is up, and to me it's all positive signs of a different direction of just the collective mindset that, hey, we have kind of forgotten about this very important thing that makes our communities work. So
we have the National FFA Convention here in Indianapolis. We signed up to be media at that event one year, and
nice.
It was very impressive to see all these young people. It is not the group of young people that discourage us. Let's put it that way. These are the group of young people that you feel like there is hope, right?
We're going to be okay, right?
We're going to be okay. Hey, Neil, do you still remember your oath?
Oh, I do, part of it.
Let's hear it.
Oh gosh.
Here by the owl. Doesn't it start out
Here
like
by
that?
that's the advisors by the owl. Here by the owl. No, I
Here
can't.
by the plow.
You're putting me on the spot.
That's
Hold on.
I'll tell
Let
you.
me pull that up real quick.
You can pull it up. I'll tell you I was going to say my favorite FFA story, but it's really my only one. But I do remember this in high school, that a friend of mine was in the FFA, and we had the ag class, and the teacher was this old, I don't know if he was a farmer or not, but he was very old. He was probably like 50, But my friend was saying how one class was a lesson about how to use a respirator, proper use of a respirator. And he said the teacher would take the respirator, he'd put it on, he's like, now, here's the most important part. And he's like teaching the whole class with it. And they're all like, what? Anyway, that was, I could see that in a movie somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
So, a couple other questions here. I saw, there was a question, Tim, about that John Deere.
Yeah,
Can you talk about it in your video?
I want him to answer that.
Yeah.
The 1R.
Yes.
Did anybody else take a look at it? Any of the other you guys take a look at it? Wait,
I
gonna
knew
watch
you
your
were
video.
going to. So
Let Tim do it.
I don't know if you saw our video for the thumbnail. I showed myself. All you could see is my legs sticking out from under the tractor because
Yes.
I was laying on the floor. The 1 Series has been fascinating because there's not been any changes for a long time. I shouldn't say there's not been any changes. They have changed it very slowly and very just like every 2 years they make just a little bit of a change, and it seems to usually be a little bit better. And that's the situation this time. They just renumbered it this time and changed the hood. The cab, I'm glad it's got air conditioning, but I was hoping for a more isolated, sound isolated cab, and I really didn't see that. I guess I was overall a little under impressed with the changes. Doesn't really surprise me. That's kind of the way Deere's going now. They really don't make very big changes. It doesn't seem like anymore. But yeah, I was hoping for more, I guess.
Interesting.
Can't hear you. You're muted.
Who's talking, Tony?
I said there's still going to be a lot of people who have hearing protection in, but they're happy that they're cool.
Yeah, I think, I'm really disappointed in that because Massey Ferguson's got a 25 horsepower tractor, just a little bit bigger, that's pretty quiet. And Coyote's got one. I don't know. I think the Coyote one, I would still want to wear hearing protection, but it's at least somewhat sound isolated. The little subcompact. Now, anytime you put a cab on a subcompact tractor, people talk about how ugly they are, and they are. I don't think I don't think it's possible to put a cab on a subcompact tractor and it look pretty. It's as awkward as can be. But who cares if you're cool? I guess is kind of the way to.
And I also think there's again back to that. There's so many of the people that are purchasing them are first-time tractor owners. They don't have a disposition of what the tractor's supposed to look like. Like, we grew up on farms and are around farms, and the tractor's supposed to look a certain way. And if it doesn't look that way, we feel somehow betrayed. But I don't think they feel that same way. I think that's also why so many of them are very eager for the tech, because they're coming from an automobile, and this is the first thing they've ever touched. So they kind of expect it to have an air conditioning cab and technology.
Yeah. Glenn Peterson just said his Coyote NS 4710 is quiet. And I want to point out that when I'm talking about these, I'm talking specifically about these subcompact tractors where there's just not physically enough room to sound isolate this cab as nicely as they do on the larger tractors. And also probably it costs more to sound isolate them. So yeah, the larger tractors from most brands are, as you get a little bit bigger, the sound protection and sound isolation gets a lot better quickly. I would say that most 50 to 60 horsepower tractors, 40 to 60 horsepower tractors are entirely comfortable without hearing protection inside the cab.
Yeah, makes sense. And Tony, well, even in my video, you were talking about the new TYM tractor that's going to have a cab, the 25 horse model. Now, you had mentioned on the video that was really kind of a prototype, not a production model. So have you actually experienced it all, or seen the fit and finish of that? And the
I mean, it's a new cab, but I've actually seen the older cab on the T25, the prior model, and it was no air conditioner, so it was just an up north tractor for snow. So, and right now that's basically what this one is as well, because I know there's rumors that they're working on an air conditioning cab for the 2025P. But I don't believe it'll be in the first production models. I think that might be something that maybe a year, 2 years down the road, because at this point, every other brand, there's a rumor that LS's smaller tractor is going to have a cab air conditioner. So, I think everybody will at some point. But
so what do you think the manufacturers are when they make that decision? Do you think they're consciously knowing that they're going to have to give up horsepower to provide that luxury feature to people? Because obviously it's going to affect the performance of the tractor. I don't know how many horsepower it takes away, but it's got to affect it.
2 to 3, but I think it's where in that market the majority are first time tractor owners, and there's an expected level of comfort that they want.
And if they're
So
missing
I've
a
heard-
couple horsepower, they don't know that they're missing it.
To a degree, yes.
I'm not seeing too much drag. I mean, it may be 2 horsepower, but we experimented with a 25 horsepower Coyote. I believe it was 2021. And as I would drive it along, I would turn the air conditioner off and on, and I was pulling the tractor hard. It was hard to notice a difference. So I'm thinking maybe the air conditioners are a little more efficient. Is that plausible?
Yes, absolutely, it is. I spent a lot of years in heavy maintenance and AC certified on automobiles and stuff, and it definitely air conditions have become way more efficient. So you're losing 1.5 to 2 horsepower for a small cab like that.
So on the TYM front, I've heard from a couple dealers that the T25 is the popular seller up north for the 25 horsepower, and the 2515 was always the popular seller in the south.
Because it has a cab with air conditioner.
Not the 2515, yeah.
Or the 3025. That's
the 3025, but that was what replaced it. So I'm wondering if that went into their decision too. It's just kind of
the T25. Is it the T20? They had some type of cab for that, didn't they, Tony?
Yeah.
For that one,
they had a cab, but it
heat.
was a bolt-on aftermarket. It was still a TYM cab, but it was just for snow. But I mean, but for TYM, the number one selling tractor across the board, hands down by far, is the T25. It dwarfs all the other models.
Really, I would have thought it would have been the 2515.
I mean, that's the second up, runner up, but the T25 is, I mean, it hits that niche just kind of like the 1025R did, and the price point too.
Yeah, I will say having the 2515 on 5 acres is probably just a little bit too big because of the frame. Just getting around the house and getting around the yard and everything.
I mean, they both have their place for sure, especially like if you're gonna, if you're not looking at PTO intensive, implements, but you want to lift logs up onto a sawmill, that the 2515 or now the 3025 is that's a nice little tractor. And again, for the price point, it's very competitive across the board.
Yep.
Very nice. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Chris from the Watershed Overlook. He is our moderator extraordinaire, and he's posting links to all your channels for folks to click on. So if you want to check out any of these channels, follow Chris's links. And thank you, Chris, for doing such a great job as a moderator. Right now, before we wrap up, you know what time it is. It's time for the sticker giveaway. And I do this every week. So for those who are watching live from YouTube or Facebook, you can participate in this sticker giveaway. The way this works is I'm going to put a word or a phrase on the screen, and you're going to type that in the live chat exactly the way you see it, and then we'll do a random drawing. If any of my guests would like to contribute to this sticker giveaway, I will share the winning information with them as well, and maybe you'll be surprised by what you get in the mail. Look at that. Neil's holding one up right now. Excellent. All right, well, let's get this done now. So we're going to put this word on the screen. As soon as I click share screen. There we go. So in the live chat on Facebook or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, type in the word, not the word, but the hashtag NFMS, National Farm Machinery Show 26. It could be uppercase or lowercase or a combination of either or, but that's what we're looking for. Type that in, and then we'll randomly draw someone as soon as this music ends. Sound good?
How many people are in the stream right now?
Right now, we've got about 130 people watching.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice. So we'll get about, sometimes we get 30, 40 entries. We'll see what happens here.
Just rolling.
Make sure you use that. Make sure you use that hashtag. You have to have the hashtag And that's not spelled right. This one is NFMS, National Farm Machinery Show. No, it can be uppercase or lowercase,
Right.
or a little bit of both.
Or a mix.
But you gotta have the hashtag. It's gotta be there. See, Mikey there has all lowercase. That'll work. Or uppercase. That works. And I apologize for those who didn't have their questions answered, but it's a busy night when you have a bunch of people on screen.
They were scrolling up through there pretty quick.
Yeah. All right, we're rounding the end of the song here.
I said, Neil, please come Alice Mecker.
I waited for the whole video to get the E. I was like, I'm gonna go and watch the whole thing because I don't think he's gonna do the E until the end.
Here we go.
By design.
There we go. There's our winner, Kajak 143. Congratulations. You're a winner tonight. Okay, so here's how this works then. You, the winner, will need to send me an email, and you will send an email to contactmcgtv@gmail.com. Send me your name and your postal mailing address, and I will send these stickers to you. I will also share that email with the fine folks on the screen, and you may receive something from them. Definitely from Neil. He's got something there going on. So, congratulations, if I'm saying that right, Kajak. So shoot me the email, and we'll get that out to you. There we go. Awesome. Fellas, we ran over a little bit of time tonight, but thank you for joining me, and I want to know if you have any comments that we didn't hit on, anything else you want to share before we wrap up for the evening.
Thoroughly enjoying. They really enjoyed this, Ed. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed this and the Farm Machinery Show. Love talking with all the people.
I loved getting a chance to meet y'all for the first time, so I appreciate that.
Peterson Farm in Nashville.
Yes, we saw.
See people. Pretty much.
What is that, Neil?
I said I just go to the show to see people and hang out and talk with other like-minded folks.
I almost didn't want to record anything. I feel the same way. Like I just want to kind of hang out and enjoy.
I did.
You have to force yourself.
Yeah, it was a good time. And again, thanks to our friend Jake from ITC who hosted that little get together beforehand, and
that was fun.
It was good to hang out with Jake. So good stuff.
Yeah, sure.
The Riggy and the Utica Greens.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That stuff. All right. Thank you, fellas. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great week, and we look forward to all the content coming out in the upcoming days. I know it's a lot of stuff from the Farm Machinery Show, but it's neat to see everybody's little different perspective from that. Mm-hmm. And I saw in the comments our friend Kyle, who was invited tonight because we hung out with Kyle and Joe the farmer, and I mentioned Evan wasn't able to be there. Lucas was another one we saw at the show, and Brock as well. So anyway, again, thanks so much. You guys have a great night.
Bye.
See you, everybody.
Thanks, Ed.
See ya.
Well, thank you all for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. As always, tuning into the live stream means a lot to me. Of course, watching the channel, your support is really at times overwhelming, and I just appreciate it so much. So I hope you enjoyed this. We'll have to do this again sometime. It's always fun to have guests on to talk about what they're doing on the channels and things like that. So definitely happy to have that. Thanks for being here. Again, have a great week. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.